Alright, what's up everyone, Duquesne23 here, bringing you the first of many Project Spark tutorials. Now this one we're going to go over how to get more terrain and, more, I guess, of a world inside your level. I know this is a big problem with a lot of people. Some people know about this, some people, most people do not. So right now, while the Project Spark beta is out, they do not have level linking enabled. So once level linking is enabled, it'll be a whole lot easier to create massive worlds and stuff like that. Because pretty much you just go up to something and you teleport to a totally different level, and it's another massive world there. So that would be nice once level linking is done. But for right now, we do not have a level linking. So to be able to create a massive world, it's somewhat difficult to do that. Because of the fact that the constraints on the amount of land that you can actually form. So one thing that you can do is just look around on your level and find areas that aren't going to be used at all or be seen by your character. One good area for this is underneath the water. Most levels that you're going to be playing or you're going to be building aren't going to use the underwater section. They're not going to do anything like that. So you can pretty much just go a little bit below the surface of the water and just start deleting out everything. Now, before I started deleting stuff, pretty much my terrain voxels were completely full. You'll see that one bar right there, kind of in the center. It's completely full, and that is the world that I just kind of created for this tutorial. Everything is just, again, it's completely full. So all you do is have to go a little bit below the water level and just delete all of the terrain underneath the water. Now some people say, well, if you delete all the terrain underneath the water, that means it'll raise the water level up pretty much up to where you jump into the water and you can kind of see the end of the water level. And I will get to that fix later on in the video. But real quick, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to the end of this little deleting portion, and I will see y'all back in a little bit. Okay, so now that I'm done deleting out everything, you can notice how thin the water layer is on there. And so that, again, like I said earlier, that will cause the problem that, you don't want a very thin water layer. But if you notice also, the terrain voxels is a lot better. It pretty much dropped out a fourth of the terrain area there, but just by deleting that bottom section, underwater section of your world. So pretty much created a, give me like a fourth extra. So now, just in case if you don't want some small little section, you can always add just kind of like a little wall around the outside of your world. Just so it provides, like, it makes it look like something that, it's like the world isn't just floating or something like that. You can add just wall on the outside, but keep the inside of it hollow. Now what you can do here to make the water level go down, all you have to do is lower down your cursor and get the smallest, just make your, whatever you want to call it, the creation tool, as small as possible, down to 0%, and all you have to do is just add land down real low, and what will happen is that will cause the water to go drastically deeper, and that will not, the water does not affect your terrain voxels at all. So all you have to do is go down low and just add a section, like put out a block of dirt there, and that will lower the water level. So you're able to, have deeper water without the, whole thing with the terrain voxels. Now, let's say you want to be able to have a nice view of the ocean and not where the ocean just ends really abruptly right outside of your world. So do the exact same thing as what I just said with going down into the water, but this time just go out across the water and just go really far out. And I would suggest maybe going down into the water a little bit, so whenever you actually do create the piece of land, it's in the water and it's not just a floating block sitting out there, in the land, and so that would look kind of strange. But yeah, so you just do this. Now if you do want to create something that's out there, you could create like a cool little island or something whenever you do expand the water out from your world. You can create like a cool little island or something, so it looks like there's other landscapes, you know, off in the distance and everything like that. So it just, you know, provides a little bit of ambiance, you know, or whatever you want to say, to your world, just so, you know, so it doesn't seem like your world is just kind of thrown out there in the middle of nowhere. So it actually seems like it's immersed in a larger world. Now, like I said earlier, you can, you know, delete anything that your character will not see. So let's say you're playing, you know, this is your level, and your character will never see the backside of this mountain. So really, there's no point at all on having a mountain in the back, like having an actual, you know, structure, and on the inside of the mountain too. There's no point, because your character will never see the backside. So really, you're just wasting terrain voxels that you could use in a better place somewhere else. So I just go through and I delete. Remember, I was about a fourth down and stuff like that, maybe a little bit more than 3/4 full of the you know, full terrain voxels. So, you know, and I just go through and I delete, kind of hollow out the mountain a little bit, and, you know, delete the backside of it. Now, of course, if you want to put caves and everything like that, you will, of course, have to have, you know, walls and everything around your caves, so your caves just aren't a giant empty open area, you know, because then it really won't be a cave. But yeah, that's different. But this is just in case if you're not going to have caves in your level. So pretty much you can just hollow out the mountain, and so you can have a lot more voxels, so you can create more terrain somewhere else. Now that we have finished with deleting the inside of the mountain, you can see that we have a little bit less than 3/4 of the terrain voxels. So pretty much doing all this took off, you know, a little bit more than 25% of the, you know, land that we have already created, and so we can put out 25% more land somewhere else. So that'll just help out your level, you know, be able to expand your level and stuff like that. Now here I'm going to show y'all how much actually 25% is if you use the plateau tool and just expand your ground out flat, of course. Now, most people's worlds aren't going to be totally flat, so you got to take that into account. It's not, you know, going to be totally flat or anything like that. You're going to have hills, or at least small, you know, mountains or something like that in your world. But this is with it, take it totally flat, and make sure whenever you are using the plateau tool, especially if you're near the water or something like that, or just anywhere, make sure you use the plateau tool on the bottom part of your sculpting, whatever highlighted box or tool or whatever you want to call it. If you use it at the bottom, it will not go deep. If you use the plateau tool where it's, you know, mainly at the top where the flat ground is, it will create land really deep. So that, and then you'll come into the issue that we had at the very beginning, and you're going to have to go and delete out the underneath portion of that. So if you create it with the plateau where the, you know, flat level of the land is at the bottom of the tool, like what I'm showing you here, it creates a very thin layer across the water, and you can spread out your world a lot, you know, larger than what you would normally be. So as you could clearly tell, the world is drastically larger than what it was by just taking out that 25%, you know, inside the mountain and underneath, under the water. So this is, you know, just something that can help out people to be able to, you know, make some better and larger worlds. So I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. I will be doing more tutorials every single, like, I don't know, a couple times a week. And of course I'm going to have Project Spark Showcase, you know, maybe about every other day or every 2 days or something like that. And you know, if y'all enjoyed this video, please give it a like to, you know, spread it around so more people get to see this, so they could create bigger worlds and everything. And I will see y'all next time. Later, guys. I guess a lot of people use rock mods to be able to do a canyon style, because that is a lot of fun to be able to race through, you know, canyons and a bunch of rocks and things like that. But this map is a motocross track, so remember, whenever you race a motocross track, if you miss one jump or don't do a turn just right, you're not going to be hitting the rest of the jump. Hey, I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll see what Aiden has to say.
I don't know what you're talking about. What about that right there?
Can they see that?
I don't know.
It's pretty bad.
No, that's me proofing that. Hey Aiden, we gotta make another video for Fan Mail Friday.